The only thing that will really allow life as we once knew it to resume is a vaccine.
This will be the new normal until a vaccine is developed.
Realistically, and I've said this before, we are going to be in some form of having to monitor and prevent transmission of this virus until we have a vaccine.
You don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice. Normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population.
This Sunday, vaccines begin rolling out of Pfizer's manufacturing facility after the FDA gives its approval.
It can't be overstated. You know, this is what we've been praying for.
A short answer section for you here, all right? Just some questions that keep coming up.
Okay.
Why do I have to keep wearing the mask after I get the vaccine? I thought it was going to protect me from the vaccine. What's the answer?
Well, the answer is unless you get the overwhelming majority of the country vaccinated and protected and get that umbrella of what we call herd immunity, there's still a lot of virus out there.
A vaccine on its own will not end the pandemic. Surveillance will need to continue. People will still need to be tested, isolated, and cared for.
One of the misperceptions here, just because you get vaccinated with that second dose does not mean you should be participating in things like traveling in the middle of an out-of-control pandemic or that you're liberated from masks. Mm-hmm. Everything still applies until all of us get the two-dose regimen. And we don't think that's going to happen until June, July. And again, this goes back to what we just talked about, Chuck. We don't know if just getting the vaccination prevents serious illness, or does it also prevent you from getting infection entirely, meaning you can still get infected with the virus potentially and pass it on to others. So really, really critical. Don't let your guard down just because you got vaccinated. You still might be able to get infected with the virus and pass on others. So please keep that in mind.
Contacts will still need to be traced and quarantined. Communities will still need to be engaged, and individuals will still need to be careful. We still have a long road to travel.
This could go on and on and on. Remember, D-Day was June of 1944. The war didn't end until 1945. We're in that same space, and it's up to all of us, just like we did in World War II, to pull together and say, we're going to get, but we're not done yet through this, but we're not done yet.
So just because you're protected, so-called protected by the vaccine, you need to remember that you could be prevented from getting clinical disease and still have the virus that is in your nasopharynx because you could get infected. We're not sure at this point that the vaccine protects you against getting infected.
The vaccine may not even prevent the infection or the transmission of COVID. So what the hell are we needing vaccines for?
When will we know the answer to the question of whether, if you've been vaccinated, whether you can spread the disease?
Chuck, that's a great question, preventing symptomatic illness. But we don't know whether somebody who had the vaccine could still acquire the virus without any symptoms and potentially be contagious to others around them. What that means is, if you've had the vaccine, and people are going to start getting it this week, you still need to wear the mask. You still need to think of yourself as potentially contagious, even though you are protected from getting sick at a very high percentage of certainty. Masks are still going to be part of our life. We need to recognize that and not step away or start to drop our guard.
Imagine all the people keeping your neighbor safe. You may say it's overreacting and you want to break the quarantine. Don't do it. All the people have to join us to stop COVID-19.
But until you have virus that is so low in society, we as a nation need to continue to wear the mask, to keep the physical distance, to avoid crowds. We're not through with this just because we're starting a vaccine program. Even though you as an individual might have gotten vaccinated, it is not over by any means. We still have a long way to go.
As you were saying there, the government's really quite reluctant to talk about an exit strategy, in part, of course, because there isn't one fully worked out. There's not a file, it's not completed work, but mainly because they're deeply worried about the idea that if they go around talking about a relaxation, that word relaxation will enter the psyche. People will stop their compliance with the rules.
What is going on? You know what's going on. Fear works. The more afraid you are, the more you will accept. Again, a feature of human nature. The more cut off you are from your family and your friends, the more power they have to control you.
Are we going to have graduations next May? June?
You know, I don't know about this time, this cycle as we go into the spring. It's really going to depend. Again, Chris, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it's the truth. It depends how quickly and how many people want to get vaccinated. I was talking with our UK colleagues just today who were saying the UK is very similar to where we are now in outbreak because each of our countries have that independent spirit, but we don't want to be told what to do. Well, I understand that, but now is the time to do what you're told.
You know whose fault it is? Oh, it's your fault. You're the one who's doing it. You're the one who's killing humanity. You're the one who must change. You've got too many kids. You drive a pickup truck. You forgot to wear your little mask. You're going to hell. Good luck with your bankruptcies and your opioid crisis and your broken lives, Middle America. We'll be at the Yellowstone Club having a drink.
Imagine all the science, that's what we do. Treatments that give us hope. Lots of tests to help us before the world goes broke. Imagine there's a vaccine and it's ready for us all. You may feel like it's forever, and you've had to stay inside. We're all in this together. NIH is saving lives.
This is just one more reminder to please, folks, social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands, be safe, ignore the nonsense on social media, and you know what I'm talking about.
If this isn't tyranny, I don't know what is.